As the white flag waves and the Milwaukee Bucks prepare to enter the game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the reality sinks in. They're facing a rocky start to the Doc Rivers era, with a disappointing 1-5 record in their first 6 games. Not the news any Bucks fans wanted, but they did manage to bounce back with a convincing win against the Charlotte Hornets in the next game. Their lone victory came against the Dallas Mavericks, where Giannis dropped an astounding 48 points alongside 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 5 steals, shooting an impressive 20 of 28 from the field. Meanwhile, Damian Lillard lit up the court, going 10 of 11 from the field, sinking all 5 of his three-pointers for a total of 30 points. It took out-of-this-world performances from these stars just to secure one win in their first 6 games. But perhaps even more surprising than the Bucks' struggles is the fact that Doc Rivers now leads this team. If you had told me last season that I'd be discussing Doc Rivers coaching a team featuring Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that they'd be facing early season woes, I'd have thought you were crazy. Yet, here we are. There's already speculation about Rivers' future, with Stephen A. Smith suggesting this might be his last head coaching gig in the NBA if he doesn't turn things around fast. In this video, we delve into the unfolding drama in Milwaukee, examining what's gone wrong and what's at stake for Doc Rivers and the Bucks. It's not every day that a coach gets fired after leading his team to one of the best records in the NBA, but that's exactly what happened in Milwaukee. The Bucks made the surprising decision to part ways with rookie head coach Adrien Griffin, despite his impressive 30-13 record. While the firing came as a shock to many, there were hints that all was not well behind the scenes. When the Bucks hired STS as Griffin's lead assistant, it seemed like a logical move. However, the dynamics shifted dramatically after the blockbuster trade bringing in Damian Lillard. Suddenly, STS's experience became indispensable, leaving Griffin in a challenging position. Griffin's tenure was marked by tension and a lack of respect from some players. Despite the team's success on the court, complaints persisted, leading to an uncomfortable atmosphere that ultimately contributed to Griffin's downfall. Despite the Bucks' impressive record, it became clear that something wasn't right behind the scenes. As reports emerged of dissatisfaction with practices and shoot-arounds, the Bucks decided to make a change. Griffin was fired a week later, even with star player Giannis losing faith in his leadership. Now, I'm not going to argue that firing Griffin was entirely unjustified, because when a team reacts with such relief after a coach's dismissal, it's evident that there were some significant issues in the locker room. While a firing like this might seem drastic, history has shown us that such decisions can lead to positive outcomes. Take, for instance, the midseason firing of David Blatt when his team was 30-11, only for Ty Lue to step in and guide the LeBron James-led Cavs to a championship in 2016. So, while I may not agree with how the Bucks handled Griffin's situation, I won't outright condemn their decision. But I have reservations about their choice to bring in Doc Rivers as head coach. It's not that Doc is incompetent, but his recent coaching stints haven't exactly produced stellar results. Moreover, there's a pattern of strained relationships with star players, which is concerning in today's NBA landscape. Doc's public clashes with players like James Harden, Ben Simmons, and Paul George have raised eyebrows, and his history of locker room discord is hard to ignore. Despite his undeniable personality, the Bucks' rocky start under his leadership only adds to the skepticism surrounding his tenure. We were well aware that this game was going to be a tough challenge for us, especially considering it was the end of a grueling trip. Fatigue was evident, compounded by our current injury situation forcing players into extended minutes. Despite these obstacles, our opponents were playing with heightened intensity on defense. What's amusing to me about the Doc Rivers experience is how he's portrayed taking on this role as some monumental burden. His comments about never having faced such a challenge before seem exaggerated, considering he inherited a Bucks team boasting talents like Dame and Giannis. It's not like they were struggling. They were already one of the top teams in the league. Plus, let's not forget the hefty paycheck and the opportunity to coach the Eastern Conference All-Stars shortly after arriving in Milwaukee. If I were Adrien Griffin, witnessing all this unfold, I'd feel incredibly disheartened. Kudos to Griffin for handling this situation with remarkable professionalism. Do you think it's a coincidence that Dame was discussing a potential return to Portland amidst all this turmoil? While it may be a distant possibility, it's still an intriguing thought. Thankfully, for Milwaukee, things are bound to improve with their undeniable talent. It's crucial not to overlook a few key factors. Injuries have plagued the team, they have a new head coach, and they're undoubtedly better than their current performance suggests. It may take some time, but what matters most is eventually finding the rhythm. Do you remember the skepticism surrounding the Clippers when they lost 6 straight after acquiring Harden? Now, they're among the top teams in the league. Despite my reservations about Doc as coach, I have to acknowledge that amidst their struggles, the Bucks have shown improved cohesion, a vital trait for a team eyeing a championship. The addition of Patrick Beverley at the trade deadline seems promising, as he showcased his value in his first game as a Buck. Both the locker room and Doc needed someone like Pat Bev. Moreover, Doc's mentoring will be particularly beneficial for young talents. While Dame may have had reservations about Doc joining Milwaukee, I believe he'll come to appreciate his contributions, especially in shoring up the team's defense, which currently ranks 20th and could use all the help it can get. I may have a lot of faith in this Bucks team and its talent, despite my reservations about Doc. However, I'm willing to give him a chance, hoping for a positive outcome. Personally, I'd love to see Dame and Giannis secure a ring, given their loyalty. Doc, if you're listening, keep faith in these young Bucks. They can truly elevate the team. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to support the channel by clicking subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.